Okay, so with listings to leads, of course, the point of it is lead gen, and there are a bunch of ways that we can do that. Some of it is with our listings, some of it is with free home evaluations and PDFs that we can send out, but one of the things that we can do within listings to leads is determine how quickly we want someone to have to give us their info. So it's called forced registration. When I click on a website and I go to look at the listing, this pops up right away. Now, this forced registration is up for it's literally immediate, and I'm going to show you that setting in a second, but I can't click out of this. You'll see I try to click on it, and it kind of goes woo a little bit with the bubble. I can't get out of this until I give them my email or continue with Facebook and submit my information that way. That's one of the ways that listings to leads generates leads. They have people sign in, that information is sent to your listings to leads and hopefully to your Moxie, and then you've got their info. You can reach out to them regarding that listing or other listings. Now, with this page though, you can actually affect how quickly this thing comes up, this little forced registration bubble, and what information they ask for. So right now you can see it's forced. I can't do anything, and if I click use your email, I can do name, email, phone number, and there's a couple of questions there. So what I want to show you is how you can change some of these settings so that it's basically as forced or as optional as you want it to be. So what we're going to do then is not go to profile, but we're going to go to listings, and you're going to see all of your listings here, but we're going to click on settings, which we all know, obviously, that's where the only place this would be. It wouldn't be anywhere else. And under these settings, these preferences that pop up right away, you're going to see form. So what you're going to see here for this form is you're going to have all of these options for you to edit how quickly the forced registration pops up. So right now you can see it's checked. It says forced registration, not closable without filling out the form, meaning they have to fill it out or else they can't see the property. You can turn this off and make it optional if you want to. You've also got one where you can say you can make the phone field required. You can show phone. People love to get phone numbers, obviously, because it's the best form of getting contact information, or it's the best way to be able to reach out to somebody. So you can do show the phone. You can make the phone field required. You can also affect how long it takes for that form to pop up. So right now it kind of defaults to 5 seconds. You can make it go all the way to 0. And if you go to 0, that means it's going to show up, boom, right away. So if I go to one of these landing pages, kind of like this, if I refresh it, you're going to see it pop up right away there, just like we talked about. I go, boom, there's the landing page. I can't do anything out of it. I go there, I can see the phone and stuff like that there. Now, you can also change it to go display form after 10 seconds. You can do, I've seen people go up to 60 seconds. You can do 15, I mean, you pick a number and you're going to be able to do that. Now, hopefully I'm going to try a different listing now. And I'm going to go to the, under market listing, I'm going to click the social media posts. And I'm going to go to the single property website. And I'm going to see if it's done what I just wanted it to do. So now you can see we're waiting. And we're waiting. How long did I give it? I said maybe 10 seconds. Let's see if I can go back here to the listings, settings, 10 seconds. And now if we go back, there it is. So now it took 10 seconds for this to pop up. And if you remember, I also turned off the forced registration. I said make it optional. So now when we're looking at this, you're going to see a little X up here in the corner. So if I want to, I can X out of that, and now I can continue to look at the listing without having to register and look at the information. So what those settings allow you to do is basically decide how forceful you are with asking people for information if you use these links, and how much information you ask for. So I could turn on forced registration. I can say I want it to display after 5 seconds, and I also want them to be forced to give me the phone number. So I save those settings, and hopefully it's automatic. So if I go back here, I refresh, give it a few seconds, and there we go. So now it was only after 5 seconds, and now you can see there's no X because I made it forced again. I have to click for email. With Facebook, I have the options here to fill it out, but I can't click away. So I've seen a couple questions come in, so before I kind of recap, Tom asked a great question. Or Tom, you just asked exactly what I was gonna move on to. So I'm gonna answer that in a second. So just as a quick recap, just to go over the steps again, how to do this, how you're gonna make these changes. Let me see if that was great. Thanks. How to make these changes is if you go into listings on the left-hand side. Don't go anywhere else. You go to listings on the left, and then go to settings. And then right here under form, you're going to be able to choose how long it takes for the lead form to pop up, if it's forced or optional, and then if you want them to be able to use their Facebook info, and if you want them to be asked to put their phone number in and forced to put their phone number in. So if you uncheck this one, it says show the phone field, which means, okay, if I'm going to fill this out, it's going to ask them for their phone number. But if I don't check this one where it says required, they don't have to put their phone number in if they don't want to. So that's how to do it. The big question is, what should I do? That's the question that a couple people have asked now in the chat. And my blunt answer, I'm going to take this off so you guys can just see me now. My answer is that if your goal is a lead gen, which is why we normally use listings to leads, if we're trying to actually use it to generate leads, then you definitely want to have it turned on as forced registration. And I would not do anything less than or anything more than 5 seconds. So if you have it turned on right away, right, so that you have to pop up, people are going to fill it out, or they're not. They're going to click away and go, I don't want to look at it. If you give it a bit of a delay, maybe 3 seconds or 5 seconds, you're then giving them like a kind of a taste of it, right? They can see a couple of the photos and the price, and then the form pops up and they're like, okay, if I really want to know more, I'm going to fill it out. But if your goal is lead gen and you put on, and I've seen it, we've tested it ourselves, a 10, a 30, a 60-second delay, you're going to get all the information you need within 60 seconds, and you're not, by the time that form pops up, there's no reason for you to fill it out anymore. So if lead gen is your goal, I would say absolutely have it turned on for forced registration and do nothing more than 5 seconds. So either do 0, 3, or, I mean, you can do 4, I guess, if you want to. I'm just using, prime numbers. The other part of it is that if you're not if you're not trying to gather leads, if you're not trying as an agent or as an office to generate leads, then to be blunt about it, I would not use these pages, because that's what listings to leads is built for. It's built for lead gen. If you just are looking for a nice landing page for someone to look at a listing, I would go to your CB Great Lakes or Florida Homes or CB Schmidt, Ohio website. So if I go to cbgreatlakes.com and I search, was that 642 Jasmine Drive, Holland, Michigan, I think these sites look better and are a better user experience. So the one's not coming. It might be a newer listing. I'm just going to click on this one. If your goal is just to share information on your listings, this looks better to me than the listings to leads pages. And of course, it's personal opinion. Let me turn off the forced registration, and then we can look at that quick. So I can refresh it. So at that point, you're just looking at 2 different landing pages. So you've got this one and you've got this one. I like this one a bit more because if you're using your agent site, I just like the contact info a little bit better. The call now, if they're on their mobile device, it'll go right to their call. The photos are bigger, so I prefer this. That's personal opinion. I've seen some agents like to use listings to leads even without the forced registration because they like these pages. It's totally up to you. That's one of the things that I like about listings to leads is that you can use it the way that you want to use it. So if your goal is lead gen, I would absolutely have it turned on for forced registration. And we've done experiments within our digital marketing team about trying to have as close of listings as possible, and one with it turned on and one with it turned off. And at the end of the day, when it comes to buyer leads like this, if they don't have to give you their info, they're probably not going to do it just willy-nilly. And that's fine. If they don't want to do it, they don't. I always say that if you don't want to if you don't want to fill out the form, you don't have to fill out the form. But kind of putting them in a position where, hey, that you can't click away from it will make people more apt to do it. We did an ad, I want to say it was last week, one of our clients did, who got over 240 leads, 250 leads, I think, some crazy amount of leads within a week through listings to leads. Risa asks, is there a way to force registration through CB Florida Homes? No, there's not. It's not a feature that Moxie has built into their sites because the goal of their sites are more sphere of influence, informational and stuff like that. That's why we have listings to leads, because it has the forced registration part to it. Moxie's always updating the platform, and it's to be honest, it's something they've been asked a lot by me and others. And so I would, especially as they start to go more corporate with Coldwell and our other the other Realgy brands, wouldn't be surprised if we see them add an option like that. But right now they do not have any sort of forced registration, and that's why we still leverage listings to leads, because they do it really, really well. So that's what I've got for you guys today.